Harry and Meghan, once the darlings of the royal family, strolled into the Pasadena Center, their flashing cameras illuminating what was supposed to be a moment of compassion, a display of empathy for the victims of the recent fires. Did they think they could dazzle these people, desperate for real help, with a few donated items? The reality was painfully clear within moments. What began as an endeavor steeped in goodwill quickly morphed into a farce that left them standing awkwardly amid a chorus of silent rejection. Instead of gratitude, they were greeted with cold indifference. The items they brought, meant to symbolize hope and support, sat untouched on the ground, echoing the disconnection between Harry and Meghan and the needs of those they sought to help. Can you imagine walking into a disaster area clad in designer clothes that scream more of celebrity than empathy? Meghan, with her carefully chosen outfit and rehearsed smile, seemed to forget the gravity of the situation. Her enthusiasm clashed spectacularly with the faces of people hardened by loss and despair. The attempt to connect was anything but genuine. While she engaged the faces around her, it was clear that many were more interested in avoiding her gaze than finding solace in her words. Witnesses reported a chilling atmosphere, a space where survivors sought comfort and safety, not photo opportunities or hollow gestures. The toys and books they thought would uplift these victims littered the floor like abandoned dreams. A woman in the crowd said it best: "We need food, shelter, and basic supplies, not photo ops or useless trinkets. This is a crisis." Her frustration resonated. It wasn't just about Harry and Meghan's misguided attempt at charity, it was about a fundamental misunderstanding of what people needed in their darkest hour. While they stood there, surrounded by cameras, certain evacuees couldn't hold back their contempt. Comments whispered amongst them reflected disappointment, almost ridicule of the symbolic nature of Harry and Meghan's donations. Then there were the journalists. Oh, the endless parade of photographers. It felt like the couple were staging a circus act rather than genuinely attempting to support those in grief. Every click of the camera felt more intrusive than encouraging. And how did the couple respond? Harry, seemingly lost in his world of posh melancholy, exchanged only polite nods and awkward smiles, missing out on the human connection that they were so desperately trying to portray. His detachment spoke volumes. It was as if he was standing on a stage with no audience to captivate, merely a ghost in a room full of living, breathing people grappling with tragedy. Meanwhile, volunteers could only shake their heads in dismay. One volunteer recounted how, instead of offering true solidarity, Meghan discussed her past charitable efforts as if they were the only thing that mattered. But those around her clearly needed more than anecdotes, they required practical solutions. The gulf between her privileged experience and the stark reality faced by these victims grew wider with every ill-timed laugh and hollow anecdote. What they needed was understanding, compassion, not another person reminding them of how great charity work could be when done from a distance. This Pasadena misstep wasn't an anomaly, it was the culmination of many miscalculations that had fed the growing skepticism surrounding the couple. Their frequent public appearances have increasingly led to questions about authenticity. Are these two really here for the greater good, or are they simply parading around for the sake of saving their crumbling reputation? It appears the couple's actions were more about staying relevant in the public eye than addressing critical needs. Moreover, one can't help but wonder whether this trip was just another calculated move in a blueprint of miscommunication, treading dangerously close to being a PR stunt rather than an act of mercy. And let's get real, there's no shortage of people ready to pick apart their actions. Harry and Meghan's efforts fall flat when weighed against their attempts to monetize their experiences and live out royalty from the other side of the world. The opulence they radiate clashes head-on with the dire needs of the individuals they are trying to assist. There's fear that generosity has been repackaged as a spectacle, cloaked in glamour while missing the point entirely. Each incident feeds into the narrative that they are out of touch, cultivating an image of celebrity philanthropy that feels less authentic by the day. Skepticism continued to swirl in the air as some individuals grappled with feelings of resentment towards the couple. They could see through the facade, they could smell the insincerity. It was like an awkward dinner party where guests pretended to enjoy the meal but were instead stuck chewing on bitterness. Their carefully curated images, the smiles, the donations, felt devoid of any heart. And while supporters might argue that their intentions came from a genuine place, the fallout of this Pasadena trip illustrated a growing disconnect between the couple and the communities they aimed to engage. Each moment spent in Pasadena was symbolic, a representation of how even the best intentions can backfire catastrophically. The close-knit community didn't need